Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss about how to remove accent and diacritics from a string in Java. So did you ever notice a text or character something like this? Having a little dot, mark, shape, stroke, or a sign? Most probably yes, right? So that is what people often call as accent. But the correct name of it is diacritical mark or simply diacritic, which is used to indicate something about its pronunciation. And the specific reason behind the usage of a particular diacritical mark will depend on the mark itself and often which language it is used in. And some other reasons include indicating which syllable of a word should be stressed, or if a vowel is long or short, or to separate one word from another that has an identical spelling or pronunciation. And now we wanted to actually get rid of this diacritics from a given string. And for example, if we have an input like whatever you see in the top, we wanted to get rid of these diacritics and we wanted to get the base letters, only the base letters we wanted to see. So this will be the typical requirement. Maybe for one example could be your input method, right? So it accepts only ASCII characters. So in that case, we wanted to get rid of these diacritics and convert it into only base letters, right? So this may be the typical use case, right? Now let us see actually how to do that, how to actually get rid of this diacritics from a given string. Before directly jumping into the code, so let us first understand some basics of Unicode. So Unicode actually uses different sequences of code points to represent this, diacritics, right? And Unicode actually uses two forms to actually deal with these code points, right? So one of them is canonical equivalence. So in the canonical equivalence, the diacritic marks appear same and the meaning also will be same when displayed. So for example, so you can see s and a stroke on top of it or a tilt operator on it, right? So this is a Latin letter s with acute accent. We call that stroke as acute accent. And the code point for that character, right, or the diacritic is this one, U015B, right? Or it can even be represented with two separate uh, characters. You can see Latin letter S and acute symbol. So both have different code points. So we can actually represent it with this combination as well, right? And Unicode actually define another term called compatibility, right? So where we see the diacritical marks with the distinct appearances, but still it has the same meaning. For example, you can see something here, some diacritic mark here, right? Which we call it as a Latin ligature. And the code point for that is, you can see it here. And again, like it can be actually represented with a combination of two Unicodes as well. Sorry, two code points. We should call this as code points, right? So this is what we need to know the basics of the Unicode, how we represent diacritics using a code point, right? Now, once we actually find or get the base letters from this diacritics, then we need to match them, right? So once we separate these base characters from the diacritic mark, we must create an expression which matches the unwanted characters. And for that, we have two approaches. Like either we can use Unicode character block, which is a contiguous range of characters, or we can use a category, which itself is like contains many character blocks, right? Now let us see how are we going to, write the code, the algorithm. So the first, we are going to actually separate base characters from the accent and diacritical marks using the normalizer class of Java. And then we'll actually remove all the characters matching the Unicode mark category using the regex shown here, right? So we are using this regex just to make sure that it actually covers broad range of diacritic marks, right? So now let us actually start writing the code for removing the diacritics from a given string. So before doing that, we first need to check if the passed string or the input is normalized or not. So how do we do that? So you can see here, we can use normalizer class here is normalized is a method which actually returns if the past input is normalized or not. And we are using NFKD here, which is a compatibility decomposition. So it returns either true or false, right? So we are actually asserting with false. So we wanted it, we only proceed further if it is not normalized. So let us run this and verify. Yeah, we can see this went fine, right? Now, we wanted to actually, so once we are done, like it is not normalized, right? So we wanted to normalize this. We wanted to normalize a past input, right? For that, let us define a method. So which actually takes an input, which has the diacritic marks as the string. And it actually verifies if it is null. If it is not null, it is going to normalize the input, right? Or else it just returns null. And as we saw in the algorithm, once we separate the characters, right, from base character from the diacritics, we wanted to actually match them using the regex, the unwanted characters with the regex. So remove accent method. So it takes the input after actually take, you can see here, we actually, in this remove accents, we call the normalize input. So this input will be normalized. And on top of it, we are using replace all method and matching with this regex, which actually removes the unwanted character from a given string, right? So in order to test that, let us write one test. So what does this test do? We are calling string normalize is the class name, you can see, and the remove accents is the method which we defined just now, right? So, and we are passing a input string which has the diacritic marks. And the expected output is we should have the base letters without the diacritic marks. Now let us verify by executing it. And we can see 2 by 2, no errors, no failures, right? So you can see it actually went fine. All right, now let us test, you know, the input with some ligatures and with some stroke characters, right? So you see a different input now. I'm using the same method, but you know, the input has some, diacritic marks with the strokes and the ligatures, right? So let us actually verify now. It actually, see, if you observe, even after removing the accents, we are passing the same string, right? So which means that, this Unicode was not able to decompose this ligature or the string with diacritics. That's the reason it actually returned the same string whatever we passed. That's the reason even when we use asset equals, it went through, right? So this is because Unicode cannot decompose some of the ligatures or some of the diacritics with the strokes. And how do we deal with that? So in that case, we are not going to use normalizer class of Java. We are going to use a different library, Apache common library, where we are going to use strip accents method, which is part of string utils class. Let me show you that. So first test with the first input, whatever we tried earlier, right? So we are using Apache Commons, and string utils is the class which is coming from Apache Commons library, and we have a method called strip accents. So we are passing the input, and it has to actually normalize and remove the unwanted character from the diacritic text, and should return the a text with only base letters. Let us execute and verify. And you can see, right? Even this went fine with Apache Commons, right? So no errors. Now we wanted to test with stroke, like the ligatures and strokes, which actually failed for when we use the normalizer class, right? And even you can see here, this time we're actually having the output as only this ligature. Only this was like, we're expecting only this will be normalized, this ligature. Let us verify this. Now you can see it actually written some ligatures only was normalized, and we can see the output here, right? With Apache Commons, written some ligatures is also passed. So which means that So even though you pass the complete input with ligatures and diacritic marks with strokes, so this strip actions method of string utils class, which is coming from Apache Commons library, was able to normalize and remove the diacritic mark from for only one of the ligature. You can see that here clearly, right? And for some of the others, it was not able to do that. So this is because Unicode doesn't define decomposition rules for some ligatures and characters with the stroke. And so if we wanted to get rid of these characters as well, then we have to define transcription mapping manually. We need to define our own mapping manually. So this is what it is about. Like whenever we have a diacritic marks in a string, so these are the two methods. Either we can use normalizer class of Java text package, or we can use the string utils from Apache Commons library. So these are the two methods we can use to get rid of the diacritic marks from a given string. So in this video, we learned about like what are accent, what is a diacritic mark, and we also saw the different methods how to get rid of them from the given string, right? So if you like the video, please like, subscribe, and share it. Thanks for watching.